Good morning, children. Now take out the lesson 50, the lesson 3, the missing ring. Anna was alone upstairs in the bedroom. So Anna, she was sitting alone. She was upstairs in her bedroom and she was alone. Her mother was downstairs in the sitting room. So her mother was in the sitting room. Anna slipped her mother's ring onto her finger. So Anna, she wore her mother's ring on her finger. She tried out her mother's ring. She watched the gems sparkle in the sunlight that streamed through the open window. So as she put on her ring, she saw the sparkle of the gems as the sunlight fell on her from the open window on the stones, on the gems and sparkle. So Anna liked it very much. Anna, please hurry with the thread. So Anna's mother called her that hurry up and bring the thread downstairs. I need more blue to embroider this forget-me-nots. So her mother was doing some embroidery. So she needed some more blue color. So she asked Anna to bring the blue thread downstairs. So she wanted to embroider the forget-me-nots, that is flowers. Forget-me-nots are flowers. So she was doing some embroidery. So she wanted to embroider the blue forget-me-nots. So she asked Anna to bring the thread downstairs immediately. Anna set the ring back on the dresser and hurried downstairs. So Anna put the ring back on the dresser there and she came downstairs. The dresser, that is the table where these things were kept, where all the fancy things were kept. Here she sat, admiring the blouse her mother was embroidering. So her mother was doing some embroidery on the blouse and she was watching it and she felt that it was very nice. I'm sure it will win you the prize at the fair. So there was a fair going to be held and for that her mother was going to compete in this embroidery fair. So she told her mother that this embroidery would surely fetch her a prize in the fair. In the town they had annual handicraft fairs. So it was a handicraft fair where all the village women, the town folk, all they gave their handicraft work and the best one were given a prize. The women of the town came with their masterworks in sewing, stitching, weaving and embroidery. So all the women folk in the town, they competed in their work of art. That is all handicrafts. It may be sewing, it may be stitching, weaving or embroidery. So organizers gave prizes for the best of these. So everyone who were competing, the best ones, they were given prizes for their best work. Mother was good at embroidery and she had been entering her embroideries every year. So Anna's mother used to be a regular competitor and always she was getting prizes for her embroidery work. Every year she used to get a prize and every year she used to compete. Many a time she had won prizes also. Many occasions she had won a number of prizes for her work. We know, Lucy said, it's family tradition. So her mother was always a regular competitor in this event. But she said, winning or losing, I always keep the family tradition. It was a family tradition, so she carried on the family tradition. Your great-grandmother entered her first quilt 50 years ago. So 50 years ago, her great-grandmother had entered the competition in the making of quilt. Now with machines to do the work, it seems foolish to do all this by hand. So now everyone does work with the machine. But still, in those days, they used to do work with the hand. While I work, I remember your grandmother, my mother. So every time she speaks that Now machineries can do all this hard work of stitching and embroidery, but your grandmother, my mother, they all used to do the handiwork. All of us would sit together in the afternoon talking and sewing. So we used to talk in the afternoons, and talking and sewing, we used to do all this work. I still hear my mother say, Mary, that stitch is not straight. So every time mother said that we used to sit in the afternoon, and in the afternoon we used to talk and sew. And always I used to hear my mother say that, Mary, your stitching is not straight, and I had to pull and redo it. So every time the stitch was not straight, she had to undo it and do it all over again. I would fret. So she would always feel very nervous, but now it makes me smile to think about that time. So when she was young, when she could not get her stitches straight, she used to pull it out and redo it. Then she used to get very anxious, but now she always thinks of it and smiles about it. I think I'll never lose this sewing habit of mine. So now it has become a very good habit, and I never want to lose this habit of mine. Anna laughed. Then Anna laughed. She always loved to hear stories about her grandma. But today she was getting late, so Anna laughed. She always loved to hear stories about her grandparents, but today she was getting late for her work. It was already 4 o'clock, and she was to leave for evening practice in gymnastics. So she had to attend a gymnastic practice class, and it was already 4 o'clock, so she had to attend that gymnastics class. Next Friday, there was going to be an important competition, and Anna was taking part in it. So next Friday, there was going to be important gymnastic competition in which Anna was participating. So she wanted to go and practice. Her mother had promised that she would go to watch the competition. So her mother had promised to watch this competition. That is the gymnastic competition the next Friday. Anna left for her school gym, and her mother remained busy with her embroidery. So Anna left for her gym class, and her mother returned to her embroidery and was busy all the time doing her embroidery. When Anna returned home, her mother met her at the door. When Anna came back from her gym class, her mother met her at the door. Did you take my ring? She asked. Well, she asked her that, Anna, did you take my ring? Did you wear my ring? I put it on the dresser so it wouldn't catch on the embroidery threads. So she said that I had put it on the dresser so that it would not get mixed up with the embroidery threads. Now it's not there. So she said that now I cannot find the ring. I put it on my finger, said Anna. So Anna said that I did try on the ring, but I didn't take it. But I have not taken the ring. I put it back on the dresser where I found it. That I have put it back where I found it on the dresser. Ring was another tradition. It had been in the family for 100 years, maybe longer. So the ring, it was also in tradition. It had been in the family for at least 100 of years, maybe longer. So she could not remember for how long this ring had been in her family. It had been in the family for at least 100 of years or even longer. Turn over the page. Anna, are you sure? Said her mother. I won't be angry. After all, where has the ring gone? It couldn't fly away. So she told Anna that, Anna, mother asked, are you sure? I will not be angry. After all, if you have taken the ring, you should tell me, because the ring cannot fly and I can't find the ring. I didn't take it, Mom, said Anna, becoming serious. But Anna replied that I have not taken the ring, Mother, and she was very serious. I really didn't. I said I didn't take it. But come on, if I'll help you to look for it. But she said, okay, come. We both will look for the ring. Anna hurried upstairs. She went upstairs. She searched the floor around the dresser, under the bed. So Anna looked everywhere for she hurried upstairs. She searched the floor, under the dresser, and under the bed. She checked all the corners of the room. But the ring was not there. The ring had vanished. It was gone. It had gone. We'll stop here for today, children. Thank you. Good morning, children. Now we shall continue with the lesson. The necklace. Take out page 143. So we were discussing this lesson. We were reading this lesson. That is Loisel and Matilda. Mr. Loisel and Matilda. They were preparing to go to a grand party, and now his wife Matilda, who wanted a new dress for this occasion. So Loisel wanted to find a dress for her, but Matilda wanted a dress which was very expensive. So he had saved around 400 francs. So Loisel turned pale hearing that the amount of money he had saved, but he had saved only that much since his marriage. Very well, he said, I'll give you 400 francs, but try to have a pretty dress. So he said, okay. Loisel was a very kind person. So he said, okay, never mind, I'll give you 400 francs and you have to get a pretty dress with that amount of money. So he agreed to give the money to his wife so that his wife, Matilda, would buy a lovely dress with that amount. The day of the party drew near. So the day of the party was near. Matilda's dress was nearly ready. Now Matilda had got a pretty dress with that amount, but still she looked sad and disturbed. But she was still very sad. She was not happy. One evening, her husband said to her, "What is the matter, dear? You have acted strangely for 2 or 3 days." So one day, husband asked her, Loisel asked his wife, that what is the matter? Why are you so sad? For 2-3 days you have acted very strangely, behaving in a strange manner. Matilda replied, "I prefer not to go to the party." But Matilda, despite having a pretty dress, she said that I don't want to go to the party. Now, she had decided not to go to the party. "I have no jewel and I shall look like a beggar." She told her husband that I have no jewelry to go with the dress and I will look like a poor person. So I don't feel like attending this party. "But you can wear some natural flowers," said Loisel. But Loisel said, "Okay, never mind. You could wear some natural flowers which grow naturally. You could go with your dress. For 10 francs, you can get 2 or 3 beautiful roses." So he said, in fact, if you spend 1 or 2 francs, you can get 2 or 3 francs. You could get some beautiful roses to go with your beautiful dress. "No," she said. "There is nothing more humiliating than to have a shabby look in the midst of rich people." But Matilda disagreed and said that it is very much a humiliation to attend a party where all the rich people will go, and I feel very uncomfortable. It would be a disgrace to attend such a party where all the rich people will look down upon me. "How silly you are," exclaimed her husband. Her husband said, "It is very silly. Why should you feel like that? It is nothing. It's no humiliation. Why don't you ask your friend, Mrs. Forrester?" So he said that you could ask your friend, Mr. Forrester. She was your classmate and is quite rich. That you could ask your friend, Mr. and Mrs. Forrester, who is very rich, and that can't you ask her to lend you some jewelry? that you could borrow some jewelry from your friend who was your classmate. Mrs. Forrester, she is very rich and she could lend you some jewelry to wear for this occasion. Matilda gave a cry of joy. So Matilda all of a sudden was very happy. Oh yes, she said. I never thought of that. I never even thought of this. But it is a great idea. I think I'll ask her, Mrs. Forrester, her friend and classmate, to give her something, to borrow something from her so that she could wear for this grand party. Turn the page. On page 144, the next day she went to her friend's house and talked about her problem. So the very next day she went to her friend, that is Mrs. Forrester, who was a classmate, and they discussed her problem. Mrs. Forrester at once brought out the large jewel box. So Mrs. Forrester was very kind. She at once brought a huge jewel box. Choose for yourself, my dear, she said. Immediately came with a jewel box and she offered her jewelry, that you can choose anything you like from this box. So she offered it to Matilda. Matilda tried many jewels before the glass, but she could not make up her mind. Now Matilda, she tried different types of jewelry before the glass or the mirror, but she could not make up her mind. Suddenly she discovered a superb diamond necklace. All of a sudden she saw a very beautiful diamond necklace. She placed it on her neck and liked it very much. When she held it on her neck, she liked it so much. Then she asked in a hesitating voice, "Could you lend me this?" When she asked her classmate, her friend, that this necklace, could you lend me this necklace? Certainly, said Mrs. Forrester. So Mrs. Forrester agreed immediately to lend Matilda the necklace, the diamond necklace. Matilda fell upon the neck of her friend and embraced her thankfully. So Matilda very thankfully embraced her friend. Then she came home with the diamond necklace. Then she returned home with the beautiful diamond necklace. It was the night of the party. Now the night of the party arrived. Matilda Lawsell was a great success. So everyone appreciated Matilda on this party and she was very successful. She looked the prettiest of all. She looked very pretty. She was full of joy. She was very glad. All men noticed her and asked her name. Everyone noticed her or took notice of her and asked. Everyone wanted to know who she was. Even the minister praised her for her beauty. So even the minister praised her for her beauty. Matilda's victory was complete. Matilda felt very happy. She was the focus of all attention. She liked being the center of all this attention. She liked it very much. Her beauty was matchless. So her beauty and her grace was as if incomparable, was not compared to anyone. She danced with joy and enthusiasm. She danced many dances with lot of joy and great pleasure. It was time for her beauty. She forgot all about her husband. So it was a great joy for her because of her victory or success, and she forgot all about her husband. The poor fellow had been sitting and waiting in the corner of the reception room. So her husband had been waiting and sitting all alone in the reception or the main area of the room. But she paid no attention to him. The poor fellow was all alone. So she was very happy with her victory and she liked to be the center of all attraction, and she liked when people praised her for her beauty, for her looks and everything, and she forgot about her husband, and the poor husband was left all alone waiting and sitting in the corner of the reception. Okay, children, thank you.